Kirsten Liebelt. Jump on in. So good to see you guys. Jump on in. It is Tuesday for the show. If you don't know who I am, my name is Kirsten Liebelt, and we come alive here Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time every day for insulin resistance conversation. So welcome in, you guys. Good to see you. It's always so good to see you. Jump on in. Let me know if you're on the replay, if you would. I would love to know. Facebook, the lives will go away after 30 days because that's what they're doing. It's a new plan, Stan. So if you ever need replays, you can either find them on my Instagram or you can go over to my YouTube. Go over to YouTube, subscribe over there. The lives get put up over there. And I'll also start creating like shorter content on YouTube for like going forward now. I'm going to start creating like 10-minute videos to kind of bring that information. Today, what we're going to talk about are 6 rarely discussed factors that quietly trigger insulin resistance without you even knowing it. I love bringing stuff like this to you guys. I love it because it's like, oh, we should know this stuff when we're not told this stuff. So come on in from the balcony, TikTok, if you can. Good morning, Terry. You are on schedule today. Good to see you. Very, very good to see you. So, you know, the reason why I feel like it's so important is because if you do not ever get told some of these basic thought processes or, well, realities, they're not thought processes. Man, just think about all the different things that we overlook just because we're not told. And so instead, the only answers that we are getting from the medical community are more meds and higher doses of meds. And then we never get to enjoy the results of turning back insulin resistance. For me, I've lost 3 sizes in my 50s. I sleep really well. I have energy. I wake up in the morning. I don't ache. These are all good things that come from turning it back. So let's get into that today. And if you've never seen my content before, you may or may not know that I was raised in an Italian family by a type 2 insulin-dependent dad. A lot of obesity and type 2 in my family. This has been my world literally forever. I just turned 60, and I didn't even start dealing with my insulin resistance until I was 50. So have hope and be encouraged. You too can actually take back your health and be your own advocate. So fires me up, you guys. Fires me up. I see a lot of people that are unhealthy, don't feel good, can't like get through a day without, you know, really being very exhausted or having a lot of just body issues. And we don't have to do that. So that's the goal. So come on in, you guys, come on in. All right. So number 1, like these are 6, I'm going to read that one again, just so you know, 6 rarely discussed factors that quietly trigger insulin resistance without you knowing it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Tell me in the comments which one you never heard of before. I would love to know which one have you never, ever heard of. Here we go. All right. Number 1, I actually didn't know this. I thought that insulin resistance came first. Okay, no, I'm not going to say that. I thought it was the other way around on this one. So tell me what you think. Insulin resistance can show up in the brain first. Now, this should not surprise me because one of my very first symptoms was brain fog. So why I didn't think of it this way, I don't know. But here we go. Most people think insulin resistance only affects blood sugar and weight. But the brain can become insulin resistant before the rest of the body shows symptoms. It's called central insulin resistance, and it's been linked to early cognitive decline, mood issues, Alzheimer's, sometimes referred to as type 3 diabetes. Fun fact, insulin helps regulate neurotransmitters like dopamine. So resistance here can actually dull motivation and pleasure. So that's why, like when I talk to you guys in my back, I always say my back office, but that's not what I mean. Like my back channels, like my messenger, my messages, text, whatever. Oftentimes you're experiencing depression and we don't have that connection. Okay. So there's a connection because insulin is actually working with if you have brain fog, if you have brain connection decline, that is affecting your neurotransmitters like dopamine. Okay. Number 2, insulin affects your sense of smell. Has anybody heard this one before? It can affect your sense of smell. Super random, but true. Studies show that insulin modulates activity in the olfactory bulb, the part of the brain responsible for smell. Isn't that crazy? That is super interesting. So when you are insulin resistant, your sense of smell can change, which could affect appetite, food cravings, and even how you perceive flavors. Some researchers think that this is a part of why people with insulin resistance crave stronger flavors. Is that you? Or overly sweet things. That is so interesting to me. I guess that's just another way of saying, stop being so freaking hard on yourself. This isn't about willpower, people. This isn't about you girl have no discipline. You have no ability to like whatever, create your own world, or what's wrong with you? No, stop being so mean to yourself. Stop being shameful to yourself. There's a lot of like just chemical responses and bodily functions that are happening when you're insulin resistant, and you have to get the insulin resistance to go back in order for these things to start to change. So you're trying to fix something that's not the thing to get fixed. Does that make sense? Gum disease is number 3. Now, this might actually be a sneaky trigger. Inflamed gums and insulin resistance have a two-way relationship, but people rarely connect the two. Bacteria from your gums can enter your bloodstream, triggering systemic inflammation that worsens insulin sensitivity. Have you heard this one? At the same time, elevated blood sugar feeds gum bacteria, making it a nasty cycle. So a trip to the dentist might help your blood sugar more than you would expect. So this is very interesting. So if you're not a flosser, become a flosser. I mean, I know I'm not a dentist, but having low inflammation, you'll be able to tell stuff in your mouth so easily when you go to floss and you don't have bleeding gums, right? And you can tell that your inflammation is down. This is like a really big piece of the puzzle. So having periodontal disease, gum disease, like when you're insulin resistant, my dad always had issues with his teeth, as a type 2 diabetic. And remember, if you don't know, he was diagnosed when he was like 35. He just got put on tons of meds. And by the time he was 63, he was dead. And his medicine went up and his quality of life went down. That was my dad's life. This is why I chose a completely different path. I chose the opposite. He did medicine. It took him down. I did supplementation. It took me up. My function over the last 10 years has increased and then increased and then increased. I just got fireworks on Instagram for doing that. It's a party on IG. So increase and increase and increase. That's been my function of my body over the last 10 years. Like, I had no idea that was going to happen. I wasn't even like tracking that. I just thought I was going to have to stay at 2X. I thought I was going to have to just be obese. I thought I was just going to get diabetes no matter what, because isn't it genetic and there's nothing you could do about it? And I realized, no, that's not true at all. That's not true at all. So anyway, with the gum disease, like, go and floss your teeth and really get up underneath, your gum on each side of the tooth. See what kind of inflammation you have, because this could definitely be something that's very triggering for your body, right? So inflamed gums and insulin resistance, those go hand in hand. Number four, environmental noise. So Terry says that she lost most of the sense of smell about 15 years ago. Are you serious? Good morning, Magda. Good to see you. Oh my stars. Do you know that I've never, and this is so interesting to me, Terry. So we're going back to the smell one for just a second. When I look back at my childhood, my mother, because we always would have like a dog or a cat, and my mother would always be saying to my dad, "Can't you smell that? Why can't you smell? How can you not smell?" And we used to make fun of my mom because we would be like, "Mom, you could smell something in the next county." Anybody else have a mom that could smell something a mile away? You're like, we were just like, "You must have superpower smelling." No, my dad just had deadened smelling because he was type 2 and he was not being regulated very well. Super interesting, Terry. Thanks for sharing that. 15. Have you gotten it back? You just spent the last year like recalibrating your life, your weight and everything. So I'd love to know if you got it back. Candle shops and Bath and Body are blanks to me. So it never came back. Super interesting. That's really interesting. Lisa, you were cleaning your basement and you lost track of time. I would say cleaning your basement is a very important thing to do. Very important. Listen, clutter in the house, clutter in the car. I can tell, clutter in your car describes what's going on like in your brain. Trust me, ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. I've had to, so maybe a little bit better. I would be really interesting for you to, it'll just be fun for you to track that. But that also does tell you that, maybe we can't turn everything around. I don't know, right? Like this is all up to testimonials. But also too, that it's not a quick fix. Like somebody will say to me, "Well, how long does it take? How long do I have to take the targeted supplementation?" I'm like, there's no answer to that. Everybody is coming to the table in a completely different spot with their insulin resistance. So when you start on the trio, the 3 supplements that help with insulin sensitivity, it's like that doesn't just happen overnight. Your body is now on a journey of turning back and becoming more sensitive, bringing down inflammation, and it is becoming more metabolically flexible. But metabolic syndrome, which is what we're talking about, this is a bigger picture than I'm healing a wound on my leg, or I broke my arm and I'm healing a bone. Like this is your entire internal system and they're all connected. And insulin is a hormone. So you're dealing with hormones and it takes time. But anyway, that's interesting though. Okay, let's go to number, I think it was 5. 4, environmental noise may worsen it. Weird but true, chronic exposure to noise pollution like traffic or city life is linked to higher insulin resistance. What? It's believed to be due to cortisol spikes and sleep disturbances, both of which jack up your blood sugar and worsen your metabolic health. Translation, that neighbor's leaf blower might be messing with your glucose control. That's really funny. Oh, Lisa, I know. So much stuff she says. I know, but you'll feel good when you get it done. And this is really interesting. So where I don't have blackout curtains, I should probably put up blackout curtains in my bedroom. But instead, what I've decided to do is just like if the light wakes me up, I just put a little sleep mask on. But it works. It works. And so you cannot mess with your sleep. Remember, we said 2025 is the year you're going to fix your sleep, or maybe I encourage you to choose to make 2025 the year that fixes your sleep. You really pay attention to it. So environmental noise may worsen insulin resistance. I guess that's my sign. I'm supposed to move back out into the country, which is on my radar. So we will be doing that. We raised our kids on 20 acres out in the country. And it was amazing. Not going to lie. It was amazing. Okay. Number 5 of 6. Some insecticides and plastics mimic insulin. I think we know a lot of this, but let's just get a little refresher in us today. Stop microwaving in plastic. Stop it. And I use plastic all the time, not for microwaving. I don't do that. But you think about it. All of a sudden, you're grabbing for a Ziploc bag. You're grabbing for a plastic container. You're grabbing for whatever. We've got to get it out of our world. And I know it's a tall order, isn't it? It's a really tall order. But certain endocrine disrupting chemicals, EDCs, like organ phosphates, found in pesticides and phthalates in plastics and fragrances can bind to insulin receptors, confusing your cells. So it's a confusion to your cells. This can cause your body to become desensitized to real insulin. Wow. Like a kid tuning out their mom's voice after hearing it 500 times. So your body just gets thrown into confusion. And then when you're producing real insulin, it's like la, 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 la. Isn't that interesting? So the result, insulin resistance without ever even touching a donut. Isn't that like, come on, you guys, we have to, don't be overwhelmed. Just do one step at a time, one little thing at a time, one little thing at a time. Our society has been created so that it feels impossible. Impossible. And if I think about it too long, I would say the same thing. But I do what I can do. I control my environment as much as I can. I have air filtration treatments that are like the best of the best. I have a water filtration treatment, which is the best. I have things like that where I can control my environment as much as I can, but then I just live in joy and enjoy life, right? And I do no longer microwave in plastic, and I do only buy, glass containers for my food storage in my fridge, whatever. But I do have Ziploc baggies. You know what I mean? Like, so we do have to figure it out, right? Okay. That's really, really interesting. So insulin resistance can come from some insecticides and plastics that are mimicking insulin and throwing confusion on a cellular level. This is why I talk about targeted supplementation, because you have to do it at a cellular level. You're literally fixing yourself from the inside out. From the inside out. That's what you're doing. Last one. Too little sodium. What? I thought we were supposed to stop eating salt. It's so bad for you. While everyone's talking about low salt diets, very low sodium intake can raise your insulin resistance by activating the renin angiotensin aldosterone system. Pay no attention to that. The RAAS, which messes with blood pressure and glucose. Seriously, you guys, we have to stop getting our information from the Today Show. Stop it. We have to stop listening to the narrative that is being pushed by big PHARMA and the medical matrix that does not have our best interest in mind when it comes to simple things like this. This is freaking ridiculous. Instead of telling people to stop eating processed foods and taking in the highest levels of trash salt possible and then replacing it with really good salt, they just put you on drugs. Like, how stupid are we? Don't answer that question, because we're really gullible. We're not stupid. We're gullible. We're naive. And we just kept listening, and now it's 40 years later, and we're fatter than we've ever been, sicker than we've ever been, and more medicated than we've ever been. And we have to say no more. Okay. This is especially true for low carb eaters who tend to flush out sodium. Add some sea salt to your electrolytes and your metabolism might thank you. So I use sea salt all the time. And I know there are different salts out there, and that'll be something else I'll investigate at some point, like Celtic salt and all the stuff. But you're getting those minerals. So the trash salt is it's the Morton, it's the bleached, it's all that stuff. No question. I understand that. So we don't do that, right? We don't get all of our salt from all the processed foods that we're eating, or the Kentucky Fried Chicken that's super salty. And we're not doing any of that. We're not trying to get our salt from, salt infused meat or any of that stuff. However, I generously salt because I don't eat processed food hardly ever. What do I mean by ultra processed foods? I'm not eating, I don't eat grain. I rarely eat bars. I don't. Trying to think of what else would be ultra processed. I don't consider an egg life wrap to be ultra processed or anything like that. So my diet, unless I add salt, does not have a lot of salt in it, because once you begin to eliminate grain and all of that ultra processed food, you're eliminating all that trash salt. Yay, good thing, good thing. But now you need to add salt back into your diet, because it is it's an electrolyte. Like your body needs it, but it needs the good and the right salt. Does that make sense? So, and that will help your metabolism. Now, somebody who just starts to go like keto, let's say you go whole food keto, oftentimes you might feel like you're tired, or you might feel kind of a little like brain foggy or whatever, because you're transitioning and you're like, well, you get some electrolytes in you. If you're feeling wonky on any given day, get some electrolytes. And I always recommend like LMNT, the letters LMNT. And when you say it fast, it says element. Those types of electrolytes are sugar-free. You're not looking for, I mean, Gatorade is trash. That's just a marketing something. Element, or there's another one called Salt T, SALTT. That's sugar-free also. Having electrolytes on you can be very helpful. In fact, I recommended to somebody recently, she was like, I love having a cup of hot cocoa. And I said, well, stop drinking regular hot cocoa, obviously, because that's sugar. But LMNT has like a chocolate or a caramel electrolyte packet. And when you heat that up, at first you're like, oh, that's kind of salty. But then you're like, oh, that's kind of salty. And you warm up that chocolate or that chocolate caramel or the caramel electrolyte. And you're like, oh, I think they even have a chai one. They have all these different flavors. So you can be sipping on your electrolytes, get a nice treat, no sugar spiking, no calling on insulin, no storing of fat. See how the cycle goes? It does that for you. It does that for you. So I will give you a review here. Hold on. Make sure I'm not missing anything, people. Okay. So these are basically your six silent triggers of insulin resistance that nobody talks about. Why isn't anybody talking about this? Why? Okay. Number one, insulin resistance can show up in your brain first. Okay. That's number one. That is linked to early cognitive decline. And you guys, that is my connection with my mama. She ended up becoming insulin resistant, she had cognitive decline that we did not notice until it was way just beyond. We look back now and we're like, yeah, that was there. Okay. But we didn't know, right? And so that was happening with her insulin resistance. She developed type 2 later in life. And then we took care of her with Alzheimer's for 5 years. Number two, insulin affects your sense of smell. This is super random. However, and again, I remember it now with my dad. As I look back, it affects your olfactory bulb, which is the part of the brain for smell. So that makes sense. If brain fog is one of the first things and brain cognitive decline, right? That makes sense that it could be the part of your brain that has the sense of smell. Number three, gum disease, periodontitis might be a sneaky trigger for your insulin resistance. And it's like this cycle that happens inside of your mouth, having inflamed gums and bacteria going into your bloodstream, and it's triggering systemic inflammation, and it's worsening your insulin sensitivity. And at the same time, then your blood sugar is feeding on that gum bacteria and making it a nasty cycle. So go to the doctor more often, the dentist more often. If you feel like you're overcoming that piece of your puzzle right now, as you are targeting your supplementation and trading out your food ingredients, you can be doing that. Number four, environmental noise. The connection they think is all the traffic and all the noise and all the waking up and everything is triggering high cortisol. And that's what they think is actually jacking with your sugars and worsening your metabolic health. Because remember, insulin and cortisol, it's like sisters. They're like sister hormones. And it's very frustrating. I don't even know if that's true, but that's just the way that I see it in my brain. I just see it that way because it's like increased cortisol and increased insulin. Hello, belly fat that you can't seem to get rid of, and you have to bring both of them down, depending upon what you're talking about. Sometimes it's both, but you have to bring insulin down in order to get that belly fat to go away. You got to get your cortisol to go down to get your cortisol belly to go away. Number 5 is insecticides and plastics. They mimic insulin. So you have to make a decision on all of the plastics that we're using and touching and microwaving in. And then the last one is, it could be too little sodium. Who knew? We have literally, come on. What is the name of the product where, first of all, there's Mrs. Dash. We all know about Mrs. Dash. I mean, she doesn't have any sodium in all of her products, so it must be good, right? Now, again, she could have put trash sodium in there. We don't want that, right? But we want to regulate our own sodium. But the point being that we've been so indoctrinated. Oh, what was the name of the product, you guys? I should have looked this up. I'm sure it still exists. Like maybe in a little blue shaker. And it's like less salt, but it's like a no salt or like a, I don't even know if they still make it. I don't even know if anybody knows what I'm talking about. Like, and it had a weird taste to it. Does anybody know what that is? First day drinking. Funny. It kind of squirted on me. What was the name of that? And you would taste it. And I remember as a child tasting, because my dad put on a low salt diet. And I remember thinking, it wasn't normal. I don't know what it was. So basically, those are your 6 rarely discussed factors that trigger insulin resistance. And the truth is that when you want to be able to regain your function again, you want to regain, I always talk about like making your life more technicolor again. There's a picture that my daughter took of me on Easter 2 days ago, and I'm on the floor sitting with my legs underneath me with my grandbabies. And that means everything to me. It means everything. And I always want to be able to maintain flexibility and ability to be on their level, to see them and look them in the eye and to hold them in my lap. That's something that's important to me. Hello, Anna. Thank you, Anna, for all of the hearts. I so appreciate you. Those are the things that are so important to me. And I know that there are things that are important to you. And just like how we talked about how this is a cellular conversation, you have to deal with this from a cellular perspective. So the only 2 things that I teach, and aren't you glad I don't say that I teach 50 things? 50 steps to turn around your insulin resistance. No, 2 things. I teach 2 things: targeted supplementation and food ingredient trade-outs. My lighting is so dark today. Interesting. Sorry about that, people. Food ingredient trade-outs, targeted supplementation and food ingredient trade-outs. And that is because I had to fix what got me into the pickle to begin with, but I wasn't able to start there in my own mind. So I started with supplementation to help fill in nutritional deficiencies and give my body the raw materials that it needs in order to be able to actually function exactly how you would view detailing a car. So if you are wanting help with your insulin resistance and you need to become insulin sensitive, the trio is what you want to talk to me about. Those are the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. It's where I started a little over 10 years ago. This is where I started. This one you take 3 times a day, and these 2 you take twice a day. That's how simplistic that is. Very easy. But they supported my body. They helped to detail the inside of my body. And I lost 3 sizes in my 50s doing that. I didn't add in, I do talk about the gut reset protocol, and I do talk about the fat burner pixie stick and where those didn't exist at the beginning of my journey. Those are recent additions that are ramping people's results like crazy. So if you want to like really ramp up your results, but the trio is still the very basis of helping with somebody's inner cellular reality, because you need to get your insulin down so you can burn fat and get your sugars down. And if you need testimonies, they're on my website. They're at the top of my Instagram page. You need to get your liver functioning because you can't burn fat if your liver isn't functioning. Boosting your metabolism and working with a little bit of that visceral fat. This is like the package thought process, like all three of them together. So if you need any information on the trio, either put trio in the comments below or message me, and I will get you a cart that has all three in there. Maybe you don't know that I customize carts for people, shopping carts. Maybe you don't know that I do phone consultations for people who are like, I need to know what's best for me. You do talk about a couple of other things. Do I need those? Maybe I don't need those. I'll be more than happy to tell you what you don't need. I'm more than happy to do that, for real. Like, that's the benefit of getting connected to somebody who does business with integrity. I am looking to I want you to get the results. I want you to be my next testimonial. Okay. That's the whole goal. If you didn't know, my website is my first and last name.com. And you can go there and find a lot of testimonies on the trio. And I want you to know that, because sometimes people are like, well, why should I listen to you? I don't blame you. You should ask that question. Why should you listen to me? I'm just telling you, you don't have to just take my word for anything. You can actually listen to the testimonies of other people that have been doing this now, and they are getting the results, things where they've been doing keto and they were stuck, or they didn't know how to get off of their meds. And I'm not a doctor and I don't walk people through that, but I have so many people getting off of meds, so many people, from anti-anxiety to statins to high blood pressure to, I'm trying to remember, the obvious ones, MET, and those, I even have people that are getting off of semaglutides, because the truth is that GLP-1 is a hormone and it's created in your gut primer. I'm just telling you, like, you can start working on your body from the inside out, and you can actually get your body back to function again. It was created to function. This is my website, you guys. I need to probably update a picture. This is my website. It's one page. That's it. Super easy. But the point of me showing you that is that, first of all, you can text me. Second of all, if you go down to, like, I think this is the fifth button right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth button right there. This is going to give you trio testimonials, and it's a Google sheet. And if you will look through testimonies, this is how you can say, oh, I could see myself in that picture. Like, that is actually what I need. I've had people where their dawn phenomenon was off the charts and they couldn't figure out how to get those morning sugars to come down. Or people that needed to lose like a lot of weight. And they're like, oh my gosh, well, if you can lose 3 sizes, I can lose 3 sizes. I had somebody go from a 1X down to a medium in like 5 months, and it's like, these are big deals for us because we just want to function, but we want that alternative. So I know that a lot of you, when I connect with you, many of you, you've already done naturopaths. You've already done maybe panels of testing. You've already done very high-end supplementation that has cost you a lot of money. And you are like, really? That's where I really do challenge you to step into my world for just a minute, because I think that I can help you to match up with the potency and the efficacy, but not the price. And a lot of you already know what that looks like. So when you can do that and you have a 6-month guarantee, you're really happy about it, right? So the beautiful thing, the most important thing is that when you do connect with me, you get me in your back pocket. And I don't say that with any level of arrogance. I just say that with, listen, I went through my own journey. And so if I can help you, I can help you only on one level on Alive. I can help you on another level, maybe in my stories. I can help you on another level if I'm texting you. I can help you on another level, maybe like in the Facebook group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, whether there's a challenge, right? But it's like, if I can know your world just a tiny bit and make recommendations, and then we can tweak and journey together, you actually string together enough wins that it shows up into results. And you're like, dang, that's what I needed. So what do you want for 2025? What do you have coming up this summer that you maybe want to feel better for, look better for, travel for? You have to answer that for yourself, okay? But when you do go to order the trio, please register with your name. Go to the top of the page and register with your name on the person icon, because that is how you can get any of any like VIP perks, etc. They have a customer campaign running right now that's just crazy. They have like, things that they throw out there, and you want to be registered for that. Okay. If you have questions, let me know. I'll be back here tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, because this is what we do. So taking my life experience with type 2 diabetes and obesity and Italianness and food and all of that stuff, and just turned it into a way that I can actually serve other people, because I already went before you to get my own results. And so if you have any needs or any questions, always let me know. Otherwise, have such a terrific day, you guys. I hope that helped. And if it did, like, share, and follow. See you later.